The news day continues here on One News Now. I'm Pauline Verzosa. Authorities raided a supposed POGO hub in Porac, Pampanga on Wednesday. Over 150 foreigners and 36 Filipino workers were rescued from the area. Some of them were allegedly kidnapped, forced to work, and tortured. The supposed POGO hub in Porac, Pampanga is 3 times bigger than the one in Bamban, Tarlac. Authorities are now looking into the local government's possible involvement.
We'll have to check on the involvement of the LGU kung meron mang kapabayaan o wala. They are the first eyes and ears of the government. Sila pang unang mata at tenga ng gobyerno. So kung may mga nangyayaring ganito sa kanilang mga bakuran, it's up to the DILG to investigate them.
Senators held a closed-door executive session as part of their ongoing investigation into Bamban Tarlac Mayor Alice Guo. Senator Risa Ontiveros said lawmakers are more convinced that Mayor Guo is not a real Filipino citizen. Here's the report.
Today's executive session at the Senate, which tackled crimes involving POGOs in the country, lasted for 4 hours. Representatives of various agencies attended the session, including from the National Security Council, Presidential Anti-Organized Crime Commission, the Anti-Money Laundering Council or AMLAC, and other security and intelligence service agencies. The session was a closed-door meeting to maintain the confidentiality of the testimonies of invited resource persons. But after the session, Senator Risa Ontiveros, the chairperson of the Senate Committee on Women and Children, said she and other senators became even more convinced that it's time for a nationwide ban on POGOs.
Ilang taon na itong problema ang mga POGOs mula pa ng panahon ni Duterte. Ang dami-daming masasamang epektong dinulot, napako yung mga pangako nung simula na na-excite ang iba na magdudulot daw ng economic gains. Di naman nangyari yun.
There have been numerous raids and arrests in the past years of POGO operations and the workers involved. Many of them were found to be Chinese nationals who were also involved in other criminal activities. Also tackled at the executive session was the citizenship of Bamban Tarlac Mayor Alice Guo and her alleged ties to POGOs in her municipality. Though Senator Ontiveros refused to give more details, she said she and other senators have become more convinced that the mayor is not a true Filipino citizen.
Lumalabas ang katotohanan hindi sa bibig ni Mayor Alice Guo at hindi lamang sa aming puspusang investigasyon, pati po sa mga parallel investigation ng mga ahensya ng gobyerno.
Ontiveros also noted that they are looking into social media reports that Guo's father, Angelito Guo, has ties to the CCP, or the Chinese Communist Party, the ruling party of China. Because of what's been revealed during the executive session, Ontiveros says she hopes the NSC will recommend to President Marcos the eventual shutdown of POGOs in the country on the basis they're a national security threat. Though there is already a pending measure at the Senate to ban POGOs, Ontiveros says the president can take action now. Mayor Guo was not invited to today's executive session, but through her lawyer, the suspended mayor sent a letter to Senator Ontiveros. Here, she again denied accusations that she is a POGO protector. She insisted that she has nothing to do with murder, prostitution, human trafficking, love scam, money laundering, or any cyber crimes. She also said she hasn't stolen anything.
Ontiveros said she will instead invite Guo in the next public hearing. But before that, she has to meet first the Anti-Money Laundering Council to discuss the illegal revenue flow of Zunyuan into the country. Most especially that 2 of the former business partners of the mayor are involved in a money laundering scam in Singapore. For News 5, Ria Fernandez, we are One News.
Former Senator Richard Gordon insisted that former Health Secretary Francisco Duque III has violated the Anti-Graft and Practices Act. Duque earlier backtracked his claim that former President Rodrigo Duterte ordered him to transfer almost 50 billion pesos of pandemic funds to the Budget Department's procurement service. But in an interview with 1PH sa Totoo Lang, Gordon said Duque cannot recant his revelation about Duterte. The former Senate Blue Ribbon Committee chairperson said Duque was persuaded by another public officer to violate existing rules and regulations.
Hindi niya na mababawi yun, niluwanan na yun. Baka kinausap na yan ng Presidente Duterte dahil siyempre napasubo. Pero kahit ano mangyari, we have proof na sinabi talaga ni President Duterte noong araw na siya talaga nag-utos, siya nagpalipat.
Gordon also condemned former President Duterte again for seemingly being complicit about the Pharmaly scandal. He also called out Duterte's former presidential advisor, Michael Yang, who was previously linked to Pharmaly.
Narinig niyo na ba siyang umangal? Ganun kalaking pera yung nawala sa atin at lahat pinag-uusapan ng buong bayan. Ano sinasabi ni Duterte? Pinagtatanggol niya si Michael Yang.
Some areas of the country may experience rains today. The southwest monsoon or habagat may trigger scattered rain showers over Metro Manila. Also affected are the Ilocos region, Cordillera, Zambales, Bataan, Tarlac, Pampanga, as well as Bulacan, Calabarzon, Mimaropa, Western Visayas, Zamboanga, Basilan, Sulu, and Tawi-Tawi. The rest of the country may also experience isolated rains due to localized thunderstorms. Meanwhile, in the lower house, lawmakers are investigating extrajudicial killings linked to Duterte's drug war. Human rights lawyer Chel Diokno revealed that the previous government reported over 20,000 drug-related deaths within just 2 years of the administration. Here's the report.
While carrying a portrait of her son, Cristina Pascual emotionally told the House Committee on Human Rights the story of how her 17-year-old child was killed in 2018 during the height of the Duterte administration's drug war. Her son, Joshua Laksamana, was allegedly killed by policemen in Pangasinan after he resisted arrest, or in Filipino, nanlaban. But based on the autopsy conducted by forensic pathologist Dr. Raquel Fortun, Joshua suffered from a fracture and hemorrhage. It also appears that the victim was tortured before his death. His mother says the cases they filed to seek justice for Joshua have all been dismissed.
Supreme Court, pinakamalaki na po to. Lord, kako, sana kahit man lang dito, bigyan mo kaming pagkakataon. Hirap na rin po kami paanong lumaban. Pagdating po doon ilang araw, dismiss na naman po. Paano po kaming hihiling ng hustisya sa ICC?
According to the 2017 accomplishment report of the Duterte administration, over 20,000 deaths were recorded under the drug war from July 2016 to November 2017. Almost 4,000 were killed in police operations, and the rest were killed by riding in tandems or unknown hitmen. This report was presented in today's hearing by human rights lawyer Chel Diokno in a Supreme Court resolution. But former Executive Secretary Salvador Medialdea says he never saw this report.
2017 po yun. Ngayon, nasa internet yan. So, sinasabi nyo, wala kayong alam dyan. So,
internet. Kasi ako
ay, hindi po. Kaya, oh my God. So, ito 2017 po na report. Anytime pwede nyo pong makita. Kung nga, nakita ko nga po eh. Wala kayong alam.
That was not part of my duties, and my territory's executive secretary was to give my report to the president, and from there on sa kanya na yan.
Ito pong mga report na to, I mean, Mr. Chair, dumadaan po yan sa executive secretary po. Kaya nga tinatanong namin sa inyo, kung nakita niyo po ba yan? Kasi dadaan naman sa inyo mga report po ng presidente,
wala
di ba?
na akong cop.
Okay. So kung wala, Mr. Chair, napasumpinan natin itong 2017 na report na ito.
It was also revealed in the hearing that based on data from the Duterte administration, over 6,000 have died during police anti-drug operations from 2016 to 2022. Human Rights Committee Chairman and Manila Representative Benny Abante appealed to families of supposed victims of extrajudicial killings to participate in the House probe instead of just holding rallies.
Yung rally nyo, walang pupuntahan yan. Nakita nyo, nagraya na kayo dati. May napuntahan ba?
Lawyers representing victims' families are also called to file a class suit. But in response, the National Union of People's Lawyers said,
bago po kami makarating ng korte, kailangan po ng investigasyon.
I do realize that.
Hindi po kami private investigator.
The House Committee also clarified that their probe is independent from the International Criminal Court's own investigation into the Duterte drug war. But for one lawmaker,
the government can use the minutes of this hearing for the purpose of coordinating with the ICC if they want to coordinate. It is not for us to tell the executive department what to do.
the Marcos administration has reiterated multiple times in the past months that it will not cooperate with the ICC's probe, saying that it doesn't have any jurisdiction over the Philippines. For News 5, Marian Enriquez, we are One News.
The Meralco Bolts draw first blood against the San Miguel Beermen in the PBA Season 48 Philippine Cup Finals. The Bolts took down the Beermen in Game 1 last night, 93-86. Meralco climbed their way back from a 10-point deficit in the first half and launched a massive run in the fourth quarter to secure the stunning victory. Chris Newsom and Chris Banquero led the charge for the Bolts with 18 points apiece, while Cliff Hodge anchored the team's defense, grabbing 15 boards along with 7 markers. San Miguel will look to equalize the best-of-7 series in Game 2 this Friday, 7:30 p.m. at the Big Dome. And those are the top stories of the hour. I'm Pauline Verzosa. We are One News.